was released from the hospital, but the family doesn't know where he's at. We need DHS to put more information out, not just for the family, but for the community here that is really scared.
For the third time in just over a week, an ICE agent has opened fire during an operation here in the West. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Tonight, an investigation is underway in Ontario, east of L.A., where an ICE agent today shot and wounded a man who authorities say drove his car toward immigration officers as they were involved in a traffic stop. As Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reports tonight, the target of that traffic stop was not heard.
Federal agents confirmed they were in the middle of stopping this dark-colored Honda on Vineyard Avenue as their SUVs surrounded the car. The man driving this lighter-colored Lexus stopped and tried to intervene.
He saw someone being basically surrounded by armed men with a mask, and so he decided that he was going to try to see what was going on.
Javier Hernandez is speaking for the family of the man in the Lexus, who, according to a statement from Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, quote, attempted to run officers over by reversing directly at them without stopping. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, fired defensive shots at the vehicle.
What we know is that he was shot in the shoulder. He then drove himself to his brother's house.
Just around the corner to the Country Meadows mobile home park, where you can see investigators surrounding the vehicle, even make out a shattered window. Now, the family says the 24-year-old was shot in the shoulder, so they immediately drove him to a nearby hospital with federal agents right behind them.
We do know that he was released from the hospital, but the family doesn't know where he's at. They believe that he's obviously in custody of federal government right now.
This comes just over a week after TikTok influencer Carlitos Ricardo Parias was shot in the elbow after investigators say he tried to ram his car into federal agents in South L.A. A deputy marshal was hit by a ricochet bullet. The man who was originally stopped today was not injured in the shooting. He was detained, as you see here. No word on why he was originally stopped.
There is no information. This is, where we need DHS to put more information out, not just for the family, but for the community here that is really scared.
And that was Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reporting tonight from Southern California. Just yesterday, an ICE agent shot a man during a traffic stop that happened in North Phoenix. As of late yesterday, the suspect in that case remained hospitalized, and the investigation there in Arizona is still ongoing. Today, another Portland Police Bureau employee was called to the witness stand in a trial that's challenging President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to the city. Assistant Chief Craig Dobson testified he had no knowledge about the training that troops receive for their deployment to Oregon. He also spoke about mutual aid agreements neighboring cities have with Portland Police. A deputy regional director for the Federal Protective Services also testified today, saying that they rely on partnerships with local law enforcement. When asked if he thinks they would get the kind of support they got during a recent protest outside of an ICE facility in Spokane, Washington, he said no. Justice Department attorneys have suggested that Portland police officers are not doing enough to protect the ICE facility in Portland, where there have been ongoing demonstrations, and they are arguing that National Guard troops are needed in order to keep the area safe. Protesters gathered in the Bay Area today demanding the Sonoma County Sheriff not comply with demands from ICE to turn over information about inmates. As KTVU's Janet Katsuyama reports tonight, demonstrators want the county to do more to support immigrant families.
Protesters with the Sonoma County Sanctuary Coalition gathered at the exit of the Sonoma County Jail in Santa Rosa Thursday. The coalition has about 400 members who want the Sonoma County Board to pass an ordinance explicitly stating non-collaboration with ICE. They're concerned the sheriff is giving information on inmates to immigration authorities.
The Latino community alone represents about 30% of the county. And while not all of us are undocumented, most of us live in mixed status families.
Renee Soceda is one of the rally organizers and an attorney. She wants the Bay Area to know just how much fear immigrant families are feeling.
people, including young people, children, who are suffering from emotional distress because they explain they don't know if they're going to find their parents at home when they get home from school.
The Sonoma County Sheriff's Office says they support the immigrant community and are not collaborating with ICE on any arrests of jail inmates who are released from custody.
We do not proactively engage ICE. We don't send them information. Now, if they send a request wanting information regarding a certain inmate that meets the criteria, that's been convicted of a crime, and it meets the criteria, for example, rape, child molest, arson, then what happens is we reply back with the date that they're going to be released.
The sheriff's office says they have strict measures to not release information on people arrested. The sheriff made a policy, they say, to only give release dates for people who are convicted of violent crimes.
The information that is released to immigration or ICE is public information. Last year we had over 400 and something requests, and only 64 met the criteria that we replied back to ICE.
Still, protesters say fear in the community is real and raw.
They're very scared. They have a lot of trauma. The ladies told me I'm not going out for a week. I'm just stay home. I think I'm safe.
Some protesters at the rally said they had heard the Department of Homeland Security threaten to conduct raids at Home Depot and other workplaces if the sheriff did not cooperate with ICE. The sheriff's office tells me that is not true. They did meet on October 8th, but immigration officials says there were no actions planned, and the sheriff stood firm. He would not share information about people arrested, only those convicted of crimes. Reporting from Santa Rosa, Jana Katsuyama, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
A hearing took place today on a lawsuit brought by 8 western states and others across the country against the U.S. Department of Agriculture over funding for federal food assistance. Because of the government shutdown, states will not be able to access funding for SNAP programs starting on Saturday. The Trump administration so far has refused to tap emergency reserves to maintain that funding. The judge in this case indicated she will likely order the administration to free up reserves for SNAP programs, but a ruling has not yet come down. This comes as the U.S. government shutdown reached day 30 with no resolution in sight.
They're bowing to the demands of their far-left base, and no one can deny that. The facts are very clear, and the American people are intelligent. They understand what's happening here.
Fighting to make sure that no one in this country, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, should go hungry in America. That's not a partisan issue. It's the right place to be.
The U.S. Senate has adjourned until this Monday. Senate Democrats are refusing to approve a House measure that would reopen the government until Republicans agree to negotiate on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies. Well, administrators at schools across the West are worried that expiring SNAP benefits will put a strain on their resources. Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman shows us how one district in Washington is preparing.
As federal benefits like SNAP are paused, we know that grocery prices are still rising. Local food banks say that they're already doubling the amount of people they're serving, even in the past 24 hours, including some of the neediest.
In Auburn, about 2/3 of students qualify for free or reduced meals. According to Superintendent Alan Spicciani, 200 families are experiencing homelessness. That means the need is only growing as SNAP benefits are expected to be paused November 1st.
We do all that we can to provide food through the school, through some of our grant funders and our school foundation and our partnership with the Auburn Food Bank. But SNAP is going to exacerbate that.
The district offers free breakfast and lunch for every student, even dinner programs and summer meals. But that only helps out for part of the year.
Families are trying to make ends meet, and without SNAP, there's going to be a lot of kids and families, working families, people pulling their weight, but they're coming up short, and we're doing the best we can to support them.
That's where the Auburn Food Bank steps in, where the rush to fill the shelves is nonstop. Director Debbie Christian says as of Thursday afternoon, 249 families had walked through the door looking for food. She says many people who came by have never been to a food bank before.
Our concern is what are the numbers going to look like. So a couple of years ago, 100 families coming through a day was kind of your norm. We're capped at 200 right now.
Debbie has led the food bank for 2 decades, helping feed families across Auburn.
Nothing is easy to come in here. Nobody wants to come to a food bank. So when you walk through that door, it's your last hope. So that's where we are at, and we try to make it as easy as possible on the family that's come in here.
The district and the food bank have been partnering for the last 22 years, collecting donations and keeping shelves stocked. But this year, that cushion is gone, now dipping into Thanksgiving holiday funds.
I don't have any more than what you see right here. So we go through about 8,000 pounds of food a day. I don't have anything on the back burner that I can save. So it is a scary thought what is going to happen in a couple of weeks. It's already bad.
Our kids are worth investing in, so please give to your food banks. Do a little bit more. It makes a huge difference.
Alejandra Guzman, Fox News.
And you can use our website to stay updated on the latest developments in the ongoing government shutdown and the potential loss of food assistance for millions of people across the country. Our online coverage includes a closer look at why Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs blamed President Trump for this current situation today. It's all up at westcoastwrap.com. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, flying faster than the speed of sound, the new supersonic jet being tested over the Southern California desert that could drastically reduce flight times.
And in weather, here is a live camera in Seattle with mostly clear skies. The current temperature a cool 48 degrees. Rain will be picking up over the coming days, especially up in the Pacific Northwest. We'll have more in your forecast coming up.
If you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire?
Also coming up tonight, video of pop star Billie Eilish calling out Hollywood heavyweights and tech moguls is getting a lot of attention online. See how she tried to get the wealthy crowd to do more to help those in need. The Utah man accused of killing 2 police officers was in court today. Ryan Bate is charged with aggravated murder in the shootings that happened in Tremonton back in August. Sergeant Lee Sorensen and Officer Eric Estrada had responded to a domestic violence call from Bates's wife, who said that he slammed her head into a door, choked her, and restrained her. The judge set a date for a preliminary hearing for December 18th. Prosecutors have said they will be seeking the death penalty in this case. Convicted Idaho college killer Brian Kohberger has been receiving money behind bars, while at the same time claiming that he can't pay the victims' families. According to a new court filing, Kohberger has been receiving money from his family as well as other supporters while in custody. As part of his plea deal to avoid the death penalty, Kohberger agreed to pay some criminal fines and fees, but his attorneys say he has no ability to pay now or in the future because he's serving 4 consecutive life sentences for killing 4 Idaho college students. Prosecutors revealed a sealed exhibit that included a summary of Kohberger's cash flow to show that he has a history of receiving money while behind bars. Well, video of Grammy winner Billie Eilish calling out billionaires in a room full of Hollywood heavyweights and at least one tech giant is getting a lot of attention online.
There's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And,
The Wall Street Journal posted details on social media about what Eilish said last night as she accepted an award at the Wall Street Journal Magazine Innovator Awards. Eilish suggested that some of the billionaires in the room should do more to give back to their communities. We spoke earlier with TMZ's Charles Latiboutiere about the clip that millions of people have viewed.
She definitely took a shot at billionaires, some of whom were in the audience, the likes of Mark Zuckerberg. He was there and saw when Billie said, look, if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? And then she said, basically, you don't need that much money. Why aren't you giving that money away? And this is a point that Billie has made before and that other people of her generation feel that there are too many billionaires and that the world could be much, much better. Society could be much better if billionaires were not clutching their money and said, we're giving it away to charity. It is a hugely debated point because some people point out that these billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and and Bill Gates, they give billions and billions of dollars to charities. So why attack them? But Billy did not shy away from this and said, you know, there are a lot of people, and she acknowledged, look, she's very wealthy. She said, but there are a lot of people who are here who are far more wealthy than me, and you should be doing more.
It was announced during last night's event that Eilish does plan to donate $11.5 million from her ongoing concert tour to support food equity and climate justice programs. The award ceremony celebrated people breaking boundaries in their fields. A supersonic jet designed to make very little noise took flight for the first time this week over the Southern California desert. NASA and the U.S. weapons and aerospace manufacturer Lockheed Martin successfully tested the jet that they say is capable of traveling faster than the speed of sound. The new jet could slash travel time between New York and Los Angeles roughly in half, opening up an entirely new air travel industry. All right, turning now to talk about our weather. Here in the West and in the Pacific Northwest, storms are threatening to put a damper on the Halloween fun tomorrow. This is a live look tonight at downtown Seattle, where an atmospheric river is expected to bring moderate to heavy rain tomorrow and into Saturday. For more, let's bring in KTVU's chief meteorologist, Mark Tamayo, who is tracking the trick-or-treating conditions across the West. A very important forecast, Mark.
Very important forecast, Alex. Yeah, it looks like that's where all the active weather will be focused for tomorrow and as we head into the weekend. As we show you the rainfall projections here as we take this into your Friday and Saturday, these numbers really going up toward Portland and Seattle, and eventually this activity will begin to sag into portions of California into early next week. But in the meantime, the short term, the rainfall picking up in Seattle, especially by the latter half of tomorrow afternoon, and then also the winds picking up. These areas here, we near the coast, we actually have wind advisories in place. Southeasterly winds can be gusting to over 40 miles an hour, so we have that wind advisory in place. And as we check out the overall view, right now we have some clouds moving into Seattle and Portland, and this is the system getting it to act together offshore in the Pacific, and that'll be the key factor with the rainfall increasing over the coming days up to the north. This was the scene in Seattle today with a kind of a sun-cloud mix. The cooler part of the weather pattern kind of focused up in this portion of the West Coast. 52 degrees up in Seattle. San Francisco, some stubborn low clouds and fog earlier today. Remember, San Francisco yesterday was 78. Today, only 62 degrees. And then in Phoenix, lots of blue skies there, lots of sunshine. Temperatures right around 90 degrees for an afternoon high today. Right now, it's 81 degrees in Phoenix, Las Vegas in the mid-70s, Los Angeles in the upper 60s. No more heat advisories for Southern California. And then we have some 50s and some 40s for Portland and Seattle. Here is the game plan for tomorrow. There's the incoming storm, especially for the latter half of your Friday. And then for San Francisco, some clouds in the morning, clearing skies for Los Angeles. Lots of sunshine for Phoenix, and then partly cloudy skies for the Denver area. So here is the forecast model, the Fox weather model. This is tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. This action is pretty close here at 8 o'clock, and then the activity could pick up later in the day. So definitely impacting the trick-or-treaters up towards Seattle, maybe portions of Oregon as well for Friday evening. Elsewhere, we just have some clouds moving into Northern California. Looks like a nice forecast for San Francisco, San Diego, Phoenix, mostly clear skies. And then on a Saturday, once again, the main action continues to be really focused up to the north. So take a look at the forecast over the next 3 days. Umbrella weather for Seattle, as you can see, for Friday and into the weekend. San Francisco is dry for right now, but I will say rain chances could be increasing next week, especially by Wednesday. Los Angeles, a quiet weather pattern, clouds in the morning, temperatures in the 70s and some warm conditions out toward Phoenix with temperatures in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. So some parts of the West enjoying some clear skies for Halloween. Other areas needing some umbrellas for tomorrow evening.
Yeah, some folks will have to dodge the raindrops while they're trick-or-treating. Okay, Mark, thank you. Coming up here tonight, we want to let you know about a story in Hawaii. A federal judge ruled today the FDA did not violate the law when it imposed restrictions on the abortion and miscarriage medication mifepristone. That includes special certifications for prescribers and pharmacies, and also requiring patients to review a counseling form. This suit was filed by the ACLU, and it argued the FDA made the decision restricting mifepristone without scientific justification. However, attorneys did not ask for those restrictions to be lifted, so they are going to remain in place. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, concerns that UCLA wants to switch its home field The lawsuit meant to keep football fans in the stands at Pasadena's Rose Bowl. Plus, Ghostbusters take on double duty this Halloween season. See how they're helping more than just the haunted.
His father, Ivan Reitman, created this franchise and this legacy. And he said, my father would be so proud of this. He would have given anything to see this.
The city of Pasadena and the Rose Bowl are suing UCLA for allegedly trying to break its lease and move football games over to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. This is all according to the LA Times. UCLA's lease runs through June of 2044, and Pasadena city officials say taxpayers have invested more than $150 million in stadium renovations. UCLA denies breaching the contract, arguing that preliminary relocation discussions do not violate the lease agreement. Finally tonight, Ghostbusters all across the West have a new mission this Halloween season. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin shows us how they're joining a nationwide effort to give back to their communities.
Grab those proton packs for a good cause. Ghostbusters Give Back, launched by Sony Pictures on Ghostbusters Day in June, is a year-long competition with fan groups nationwide raising money for local charities.
The LA Ghostbusters, we've chosen Starlight Children's Foundation as part of this initiative. No matter what charity the Ghostbuster franchises raise money for, Sony Pictures will match that dollar amount to Starlight Children's Foundation up to $150,000.
The Los Angeles show Varietyville teamed up with LA Ghostbusters for this year's Varietyville Oween.
We'll be out there fundraising for Starlight all night long. We'll have cartoons playing. We'll have a bake sale benefiting the show.
Starlight's mission is to deliver happiness to hospitalized kids and their families.
By supporting the emotional and mental well-being of kids through custom programs that we develop with partners. One of our healthcare workers said this one time, we provide the care, Starlight provides the smiles.
The foundation delivers toys, gaming stations, and character-themed hospital gowns, including Ghostbusters.
I see one of the young girls coming out of her room. She's already wearing the gown. And one of the toys or one of the items that we gave her was a little Ghostbusters purse. And she had the purse slung over her shoulder. It was incredibly moving and fulfilling to know that our community was able to give her that.
Writer-director Jason Reitman championed Ghostbusters Give Back after seeing the gowns and the great work fans were doing.
His father, Ivan Reitman, created this franchise and this legacy. And he said, my father would be so proud of this. He would have given anything to see this. And ever since then, he has really been a champion of the Ghostbuster community and the Ghostbuster Charity Initiative.
See starlight.org for more on the foundation. For your local Ghostbusters and charities they support, go to whoyougonnacall.org. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Oh, I just love that. What a wonderful way to give back. All right, that does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. And a quick reminder before we go here, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're covering across the West Coast by heading to westcoastwrap.com. We'll leave you here with a gorgeous shot of downtown Seattle and the Space Needle right there. Have a great night, everyone.